Well, Kay seemed in pretty fair shape today. She was sitting in the dining room, just probably looking at she couldn't be looking at the screen TV because her back was to it. But I took her downstairs and we sat in the kind of reception area for a while. Then I brought her back upstairs and we stayed in her room till it was time to go. No activities going on today. Can you, do you know who is head of the United Nations Human Rights Committee? You don't want to miss this. I'll make a report on it shortly. The Saudi Arabians, the people who behead more people, even crucify Christians after they behead them publicly. They don't have the decency to even do it in private, publicly. I had a low opinion of the United Nations in the first place, but it has sunk even lower when I read that Saudi Arabia, the ambassador in Geneva, was elected to chair the Council on Independent Experts on Human Rights. And this is the country that beheaded 100 people last year. Punishment is chopping off your hand if they think you did something illegal. They sentenced one young man to 1,000 lashes for posting on the internet an appeal for people to promote democracy, and it's absolutely against the law to speak against the king, the most incredible, most vicious, bloodthirsty regime on the earth. And the UN representative in Geneva gets the head job on one of the chairmen on independent democracy. So I can't go over all the things that Saudi Arabia does, which is contrary to freedom and democracy, but because it's too much to list right now. But if you would like, you can check that out. So hooray for the United Nations. The young man that they sentenced to 1,000 lashes was also sentenced to many years in prison. And they figured out that the first time they gave him lashings, he almost died. So they had to, now I think the sentence is 50 lashes per week. Of course, he's going to be there about 13, 14 years, so he's going to be a long time being lashed. I also saw in the news that Saudi Arabia is putting out job offers for executioners. They also said there's no experience necessary. So those are the friends of Bush, Obama, all the big wheels in the oil business. So heaven help the U.S. They haven't said a word. Have you heard a word said about that? Well, what does that tell you about the U.S.? Who's running it? This is the country that won't let women drive. Well, there's chaos in the dining room tonight. They brought, the first thing Beep didn't like the looks of the chicken and dumplings, so she wanted something else, and the server said that she couldn't have it. whatever she wanted. So then and in the meantime, she started crying too because what she decided she didn't want. And finally, she settled for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which she had at noon for some reason or other. And this was, meantime, she was talking, shouting. She didn't want the chicken and dumpling, which she had ordered this morning. And all this is going on. I looked at the toasted cheese sandwich, and it wasn't toasted, so I thought, I won't eat that. I said, look, it isn't even warm. So I took a picture of it for you to see. And but in all the chaos, I didn't get the answer if I was going to be able to get something else. Yeah, so on the way back to satisfy, she said, yes, you'll get some chicken and dumplings. Well, I've had the chicken and dumplings, and I'm not all that enthusiastic about it. Anyway, in the meantime, it was really quite a deal. He was crying. Then later on, but we had a little argument, and of course that doesn't take anything to make me cry, so she's crying again. Oh boy, it was a real mess. In the meantime, she takes off. She got to put up with this. So anyway, finally we got dinner. I got chicken and dumplings. I left 2/3 of it. Later on, if I really get hungry, I may go over to the Bayview Tavern and get some chicken and fish and chips. Meantime, everyone around was looking in amazement at what's going on at table number 7.